everyone, and welcome into Mount Smart Stadium number 2 for the first of our 3 grand finals today. It's the Crown Lift Trucks Fox Championship Premier First, that's reserves grand final. Atatu Roosters taking on the Bay Roskill Vikings. Lovely day here at Mount Smart number 2 in the field, and very good knit considering the number of grand finals that have been played over the last few weeks. And this is our last day here at the stadium before we get into our representative program, the Region of Origin coming up, and some one-off rep games as well, which we will talk to throughout the broadcast as well. So the Atatu Roosters now making their way into their half, and the Bay Roskill Vikings just breaking from a mini huddle there.
Our match officials today, ladies and gentlemen, referee is Brent Newton, touch judges Zane Richardson and Garth Mitchell.
So on screen, the Bay Roskill Vikings team, and a couple of names in here who have played at high levels. Pretty much one of them in the halves, and Timothy Vogel, who's played a little bit of football for the top side at the Vikings as well. Selwyn Fale brings some power and speed into the back line and what is otherwise a fairly forward-orientated side. And the Atatu Roosters, now how they will line up, and again it's a similar story. Max Urquhart, who's played extensively in the top side, Trady Williams as well. Hayden Johnson brings some experience to the back row, and watch out for Alan Pessamino at the back. He's a real spark in attack and will bring some speed to this team from the roll at fullback. Underway we go, and we're into it, and the Bay Roskill Vikings get us started. They will run the ball back towards the Mount Smart number 1 end here. Vikings, of course, in the top grade have experienced really 2 or 3 years of prolonged success, back-to-back grand finals for them, although they went down, back-to-back finals I should say, they went down to Papakura in the big one last week. Charging forward now via the 13, Finau Valkal Takakala. He's Machu directing traffic, comes back centre field, and taking the ground is Shane Williams. Vogel, the dummy half, we're in the 14 but has started, and a high kick to start with, which has almost gone backwards. It's regathered by Bay Roskill. Pops the ball out the back, it's loose, it's messy, and Atatu clean it up. Now going to welcome into the commentary box for the first time today, Troy Hardy. And Troy, lovely day for football down here. Not much of a breeze around, which is, I guess, a little rare here at Mount Smart number 2 as well, where it can tend to get fairly gusty.
Morning, Corey. Great to be here, mate, at Mount Smart number 2. And ladies and gentlemen, if you are in the area, we've got 3 games back-to-back all day long as we head towards the Crown Lift Trucks Fox Championship Grand Final. And some fantastic action in play, so definitely a great game for rugby league, and come and join the action. Good to see both Atatu and Bay Roskill's reserves here in play, and they've had to have really good rosters this year. Both clubs have done exceptionally well, and like to refer to them as the unsung heroes. And without having really good, I suppose, cattle roster, it made their top sides really perform well this season.
Yeah, absolutely. And as we touched on during the team lists, a number of these guys have been called up at times to fill gaps on the top side or
Nice
more
break.
than that. So it certainly is important to have that depth because it's a long season and injuries always a factor now as the Bay Roskill forward pack get rolling down the field and we'll take them down just short of halfway. This is a good set from the Vikings as Vogel clears the ruck and comes back in field to Polamalu. Breaking down the right now for Bay Roskill. Scramble comes across. That's a great covering tackle from the Atatu number 2, which is Jackson Barron. And the Roosters now turn over the ball and look to work it out. That's Pessamino there, who just about dropped the ball but managed to gather it in. Mark Seifer involved in the tackle for the Vikings.
Atatu with a little bit of time on the ball here now. Couple of strong settles out, just over the 40. An exciting day for us again today as well, Corey. We get to be alongside TJ all afternoon, and it's always good to have his wisdom and knowledge alongside us. Gives me a lot of comfort and confidence, Corey. A bad little kick there down into the 10. Great return. Still going.
Vali Toltai with a nice little run back that time, of course. The topside fullback, Corey Vogel, voted the Crown Lift Trucks Fox Championship Player of the Year, and he had a great year, Troy. We were fortunate enough to call him a couple of times, and just electric from the back.
Absolutely. Every time he touched the ball, he looked dangerous, and I don't think from any of the games that we covered that we actually saw him have first contact tackle. He was always breaking the first defender. Just magical.
One of 3 fullbacks to win major awards at the ARL Awards. Mele Toki from the Ponsonby Ponies, the fullback, winning the Women's Player of the Year. And, of course, Wyatt Rangi from the Glenora Bears, winning fullback of the year, and Player of the Year, I should say. And great to see all of those players as well in their 20s or late teens. So the future looks very bright from an Auckland Rugby League point of view. As Pessamino now brings the ball in.
Oh, he's bobbled it. Shame. Lucky I'm here, Corey, covering it. Bit of an opportunity there. Going haywire. Well, we're waiting for the scrum to pack in here. How good was that game at Mount Smart number 1 last night? And I'm not talking the main game. I'm talking the SAS Fox Memorial Grand Final.
Depends what colour jersey you wear, I suppose, if you enjoyed the NRL game. But that Fox game was just remarkable. And we'll probably talk about that sort of throughout the day because I know certainly the chat before we kicked off the commentary here was just what an excellent game that was. As Polaamu pops the ball out the back and the Bay Roskill Vikings will open the scoring down the right-hand side. It's going to be Mark Seifer who goes over to score and will give the Vikings an early 4-0 lead. And it comes off the back of a mistake down that end, which turns over possession. So Bay Roskill 4-0 in front.
Crown Lift Trucks action replay here. Tied up a number of defenders there just into the centre. Managed to get it off to his wingman and 4 points. Vikings up.
And first points on the board to the Vikings with that try scored by number 7, Sam Cooley.
So Machu to attempt the conversion from maybe metre and a half in from the sideline. So a difficult one first up. But as I mentioned, the breeze really not too much of a factor here today, as it has been in previous weeks at least.
I just want to give a big shout out to that young Viking ball boy down there who managed to put my SAS flag back on the sideline pole. Good boy. Saved me having to go down there and do it, Corey.
Yes, well, we know what happens when you try and walk down the hill in front of us. So Machu to attempt the conversion. Strikes it and will be away to the right, so it will remain the Roskill Vikings 4, Atatu Roosters 0. We're going to go over to TJ Ashford now, who of course knows a little bit about these teams through his involvement with the Aussie Eagles, although he's with the top side. TJ, what can you tell us about the two sides we've got taking the field today?
Yeah, just I've managed to watch a couple of their games this year for both of these sides. As you can see in the early stages here, Roskill dominating the middle of the field. I feel that they're getting quite a few minutes. So Atatu have to really contain that area if they want to stay on the fight here. Watching Atatu's games over the season, though, this reserve grade side's got some really classy outside backs. So looking forward to them getting into some good ball today and throwing a good bit of shape at the Roskill line.
So a clash of two differing styles, as TJ's pointed to, and it's not hard to see why this Roskill side are built around their forward pack. There's some big units in this squad, as there are in their top side as well. They are a really strong junior club. Of course, recent juniors to come through, the likes of Bill Tupou, Ben Henry as well. So Vogel jumps out, looks to his left, links with Machu, who double pumps. That was flat at best, and then, well, the ball almost gets slammed to the ground as it all falls apart there now, and the Roosters turn the ball over. They're 40 metres off their line, and we'll get back to work now as we approach the 9-minute mark here in this match. The Crown Lift Trucks Fox Championship Reserves Grand Final. Here's Kobe Kapua. Takes Atatu into attacking territory. Williams now is the dummy half. Looks to his left. Links with a strong running back rower. I think that's Hayden Johnson, the 11. Williams back in field to Kapua for another carry. Built low to the ground. Williams. Show and a go from Urquhart. And then they play out the back to Pessamino, who steps out of the first one and then gets dragged down from behind, although he's gone again. Referee says tackle was complete. Max Urquhart, he's a real danger when he runs the ball, as we see him now kicking this time, and it's a high one and a tester on at the back here, but Polomalu brings it in nicely and then returns with interest as well. He's having a good game so far, is Onosai. He's taking the ground now, 25 off his own line.
So we see Roskill Vikings now on the ball again, and as Corey's pointed out, they've got some big boys across the park. Their two centres look like they could quite easily play on the back row. And that's not a bad carry either, as it's thumped up towards the halfway. Looking for a quick play the ball here.
Good line speed from Johnson that time, up quickly to close down what was perhaps just an opportunity starting to build there for the Vikings. 5 metres inside opposition territory now. They will kick. Pessamino across to cover it. It's going to bounce and will go over the sideline. Not a bad set that time from the Roskill Vikings, and they'll force the Roosters to go 90 metres if they are to get down the other end of the park.
There's a good strong crowd here for the first game, kicking off at 11 o'clock this morning. Mount Smart number 2. And if you're looking for all the action replays, they'll all be on the ARL TV channel, and you can get to that through www.aucklandleague.co.nz. Atatu now. Quick little settle off the back of the scrum there, up to the 20. Surging towards the 30. You just managed to miss that one. Looking for runners. Not a bad runner to find.
He's had a few good carries, hasn't he, Kapua, early on?
Oh, a bit messy. Yeah, no. Referee didn't like it. Got pinged. We have a bit of conversation around that one. And you want me to go back to the defence line? Okay, I'll go back there. Righto.
Pessamino to kick for touch. Johnson.
Got a couple of racing stripes on him today is Johnson.
Ova'a comes centre field now to Ingatia. Williams looking left and right. Goes with left, links with his playmaker, and then Ova'a into a yawning gap down the left-hand side, and Ova'a just simply rounds the fullback, runs it in behind the SAS uprights, and the Te Atatu Roosters hit back. They should take the lead here with the kick from in front, but lovely stuff that time. It started with a couple of strong carries to the middle, and then Ova'a, who really is a specimen out there in the centres, it was all too easy in the end, just had to weave around the fullback and runs in untouched.
Well, on the back end of the Crown Lift Truck section replay there, you can see he really stepped that defender, didn't get a hand on him. Don't know if he slipped over just before the point of contact. And just as we say that, a little bit of rain starting to fall now here at Mount Smart number 2, even though the sun's out. So welcome to Auckland weather. Yeah, so the defender there looked like he slipped over. He didn't really get a hand to him, and it was from there pretty well clear sailing. So the Steeden getting teed up. Official ball to the Auckland Rugby League. And we thank them for their support throughout the season. In fact, for the last many seasons we've been here, Corey.
Yeah, it was great to see Jamie Ware at the awards night as well. Presented the top try scorer award. So Pessamino to attempt the conversion from right in front of the uprights. 26 to play in the first half. Flags go up and the Roosters lead by 2. 6 points to 4 here in the Crown Lift Trucks Fox Championship Reserves Grand Final. And we'll go to TJ for a little stats update and can tell us maybe a little bit about how the possession and errors are shaping up.
Yeah, besides the one error that Te Atatu made earlier on that resulted in that try, they've been doing pretty good. So they're completing at a high level. They've only made the one error so far. Costly one at that. However, Roskill errors starting to creep in at the moment. They've had 6 opportunities with the ball and dropped 2 of them. So for them, especially being a forward-orientated team, they probably need to make sure they complete their sets a little bit more at a higher level. If they keep dropping it, I think Te Atatu's fitness will probably come through at the back end of this stage.
So the Roosters now after points, and this is the try scorer Ova'a. Williams, I think it was, in fact it was the halfback Braden Brown who looked to milk the penalty that time. 5 short of halfway now the Roosters. Here's Williams to Kapua, and Kapua goes through the initial line. Really like the work this guy's doing so far. Trady Williams jumps out. They'll go short side now. Urquhart moves the ball on, and the Roskill line comes across quickly and was met with the shoulder that time of Shane Williams, I think it was. Urquhart has to bring it in with one hand, and oh, that didn't look good. Urquhart hit low.
Oh, it's knocked on.
There's a knock on there, but there's also a Roskill player down. Well, Urquhart's back up. There's no call from the match officials, and perhaps was just one of those unfortunate contacts made there. It was down low.
Well, if you're been viewing the action on Facebook through the Auckland Rugby League page, we're shutting that down now to be directed to the ARL YouTube channel, and join us for the rest of the match. Te Atatu to feed the scrum. Great opportunity here. Here we go.
Pessamino taking down 20 out. Here's Kapua. At that time, head on. They're 11 out from the line now, Te Atatu. Chasing their second try of the game. It's Williams to Brown. Brown goes short to Johnson. Johnson taking on a 2-man tackle there. 3 short of the line now, the Te Atatu Roosters. Kopua centralises for the Roosters. They've now got options left and right if there's a set play in the offering. Williams will go to his playmaker. It's Brown to Ova'a. Ova'a with the footwork again. Look out, Ova'a stepping back in looking for his second try, but not this time. Shut down well by the Bay Roskill line. Williams comes centre field. Burrowing low now is Zingatia.
He had about four, 5 guys on him.
Last play now coming up. They kick from dummy half, and it's well recovered by Bay Roskill, although there's a knock-on that's been found in the build-up there from referee Newton. So back-to-back sets coming up, I think, here for the Te Atatu Roosters. Scrum to pack down, and yeah, it will be a Roosters ball. So Troy, interesting to see how long Bay Roskill can hold on for here. Te Atatu throwing plenty at them in attack.
Yeah, well, they certainly get an opportunity again. And being back-to-back on the on your try line down here is certainly putting them under a little bit of pressure. Halfback just wandering off the screen there. Must be going to get the Steeden. Yep. Be interesting to see what the set play is here.
Down the right they come. It's Urquhart to Pessamino, and back in the middle at speed was the 5 Dillon. In fact, Raymond Tussa. Kopua. Short side they come. Urquhart goes to the line and then plays.
Dangerously close to the sideline. Manages to stay in.
Roosters now looking to get out of this corner. Give themselves a chance to set up a good play on last play, but there's a penalty in here. And it will again go the way of the Roosters, who have now been down this end of the park for a good 5 or 6 minutes. And they're going to look to the sticks. Well, this is an interesting move here from the Te Atatu Roosters. You did just get the feeling like with all that possession, they were starting to wear Bay Roskill down, but they'll elect to take the 2 try.
Well, you know, the thinking behind that, not sure, but they'll get the ball back from a restart. As long as he drills it between the sticks, it'll make it worthwhile.
We are lucky enough to have
some of the boys having a bit of a breather out there too, I think, just quietly.
We've got a active coach on the coaching staff, TJ Ashford. What would you have done in that situation?
Yeah, it's hard to say, really, Corey. They have been camped down here for a little bit, but you know, the worst thing that they could be doing is staying down here for another 5 minutes and come away with no points. So maybe taking the 2. Coach, I think it's Kevin Charlie of the reserve grade side for Te Atatu. He's probably decided, hey, let's take the 2 points while we can, regroup, and then reset again after the kickoff. So Te Atatu just struggling with their attack there at the moment. They're a bit flat on that try line, so they probably just need to get a bit better on their shape, and they'll be able to throw a few points over that try line.
It's a fair point. They didn't look too adventurous in attack that time, so maybe the thinking is let's get it over, get another 2 points on the board and look to reset a little. So it will be Pessamino to attempt the conversion from just to the right of the uprights. See in the background there the number 1 stadium, and it's a lovely day here at Mount Smart number 2. Pessamino steps in, flags go up, and the Roosters lead 8 points to 4. 19 and a half minutes to play here in the Crown Lift Trucks Fox Championship Premier First Grand Final.
Can't help but notice all the Roosters have got fancy hairstyles today. Looks like there's a few down there with a couple of trick do's on.
You used to rock out a special hairstyle for the big games back in the day?
I had what you would know as a bright orange afro, my friend. And what's happened there from the kickoff?
Offside.
Oh.
Well, that's...
You see, getting carried away about orange afros. That's a visual you won't get out of your head, Corey, for at least the next 8 minutes, my friend. Yep, and we've just lost 5 people on the stream.
The touch is, well, probably didn't go off the boot as intended. It goes about 9 metres. At least it's gone out. And Orva'a says we'll tap and we'll go.
I like the early signs of him. He's looked dangerous every time he's touched the ball.
Williams to Brown to Ingatia. I like these Te Atatu front rowers. Maybe giving away a little size on their opposite numbers, but they're going at it hard right now in the middle of the park. And speaking of, this is the 10, Kapua.
Yep, the two blonde twins.
Backdoor to Brown. And miss out Johnson. Pessamino chiming in at speed. Pessamino ball over the top and a finish in the left-hand corner.
Great execution.
Jackson Barron scores in the far left. Pessamino hit the ball at speed and then from there summed it up nicely. Puts his winger away. And after taking the 2 points just 2 minutes ago, the Roosters on the board once again and stretch that lead.
Crown Lift Trucks action replay. You can just see them celebrating after the end of that, what was a fantastic backline move. And the winger squeezed through on that edge. And I'm really sure that all of this action is probably playing down at the Roosters' nest today. So big shout out to all the fans there at the clubhouse. I know that Brian O'Shea and all his crew will have it on the big screen down there.
And number 2, Jackson Barron, scores the try.
So Pessamino to attempt the conversion from right up against the left-hand touchline. Strikes it and it's away to the left, so it will remain the Te Atatu Roosters 12, Bay Roskill Vikings 4, and we'll go to TJ now, and Te Atatu a little bit better in the shape department that time. They score nicely in the left.
Yeah, well, the decision to take the 2 points has paid off, obviously, now. But, yeah, look, the last 5 to 10 minutes, Te Atatu's literally spent all the time down in Bay Roskill half. So I think it's important that... oh, there you go. I was just about to say that Te Atatu complete the set and get to the other end again, but, yeah, spoken too early.
All-time commentators curse that time. So bad you didn't even get it out. So the Roosters knock on, and it has been a comedy of errors on restarts, and Bay Roskill now will look to get straight back into it via Vogel. First time down here in a long time for the Vikings. Vogel comes in field. Oh, show and a little go from Timothy Vogel. He's wrestled away from the line. He's only about 1.5 meters short. The 15 is Papali'i at dummy half. Goes to Machu, goes out the back and links with his fullback, but the Te Atatu line is up quickly to close him down, and Selwyn Fale with a lose yardage on that particular play. Back towards the centre of the park they come now, and they work it up through the middle via Mafilio. Charging and driving those legs. He's taken down smack bam in the centre of the park. Options left and right now for Vogel. It will be to the right they go. Charging from close range and over. Sione Vakal Takakala from close range just powers through the legs and drives over into the corner, and the Vikings hit back.
Crown Lift Trucks action replay. Vikings on the ball for a long time, sort of drought as they force their way in for a try there, and just sort of proves the point. They get some time on the ball, they're dangerous. They celebrate that 4 points, and it's not too far off the sticks there. So 20 metres out as we get ready for the kick to come.
And try scorer number 16, Sione Whakao Takakawa.
So Machu lines up the conversion. We've got about 12 and a half to play in the first half. Strikes it, and it's a bit of a shocker away to the left. So it remained Te Atatu Roosters 12, Bay Roskill 8, and TJ, we're starting to see a pretty clear correlation now between errors and points. It's the last 2 tries that have come directly off an opposition error.
Yeah, you took the words right out of my mouth there, Corey. Both tries from Bay Roskill, they haven't really thrown too much at Te Atatu, but errors proving very costly in this game at the moment. So I suppose at half-time, Kevin Charlie, the coach of Te Atatu, will probably be given that instruction to try and tidy up errors inside their own end. But look, yeah, still not panic signs, man. That's an easy fix, to be honest. They've dropped the ball twice off a kickoff, I think it was. So, they just need to tidy up that area, and I think they'll go a long way to win in this game.
Back into it we go, and it is reeled in this time, and now winding up is Mawheleo. Vogel. Strong carry, a brilliant carry as well, still going, and we'll get to a quick play the ball as well. That is lovely stuff from the Bay Roskill Vikings, and that much vaunted middle now starting to come into its own. A little bit of confidence behind them. Tim Vogel doing a good job directing things from the bottom of the ruck as well. Looks to his right and links with his lock forward, who then takes them to within 35 metres of the line. This is a great set, and we'll get even better with this, a penalty. So a golden opportunity now for Bay Roskill to not just draw even, but potentially take the lead here. Vogel's going to tap and go, and they'll get straight back to work here.
Spoiled for choice for runners too, isn't he?
Looks to his left, links with Fale. Fale still going, shakes out of the first one. He's standing in the tackle. The ball's come loose. That's going to be ruled a dropped ball. So the Te Atatu Roosters will dodge the bullet. Just under 10 minutes to play here in the first half, and the Roosters now to work this ball out, sitting on a 4-point lead.
Just can't help to think that was an opportunity squandered. You know, get a penalty, get a big boy running onto it, just getting ready to set up. And now we find ourselves into a scrum here, so that's played into Te Atatu Roosters' hands. Ready to pack in. Great day for rugby league down here at Mount Smart number 2. Bump and run. 1, 2, 3 defenders on. Quick play the ball here. Net. Big shoulder there.
So Williams heads to his right to Kopua, who's played, I think,
Great
the
net. Yeah.
full 31 odd minutes so far. Short at the line and up to Wackham, the Bay Roskill defence. Okay, that's taken a touch from Bay Roskill, and now Urquhart's bearing down on it, but back to clean up was Fali Tautai, and just in time as well because Max Urquhart was chasing hard. The Bay Roskill pack is slowly working their way back onside. In the meantime, the back line are getting involved in the carries.
Good return there.
So on Fale, who's been very good in the last 5 or so minutes in particular. Polomalu Vogel to Williams. Williams gets upended but put down safely, thankfully. They're 20 out from the line now. Options in the middle for Vogel, and that's where they'll go. A charging carry, still going, and he's promoting the ball, pops it out the back, and the Roosters get there in numbers to deny him. That's good scramble from Atatu. Equally good offensive play from the Bay Roskill Vikings. Centre field, Vogel looks to his left, goes to Machu. Machu turns back to the inside, and powering in from close range was Toilalo. And this will be a handover here. I'm not sure if there was an error there, if that was tackled.
No, that was full count.
So the Roosters do well to hold on, and 7.5 minutes to play. They maintain their 4-point advantage.
The Roosters on the grind now. He bobbled that. And that's what's going to be called.
Scrum packs down. Vikings back on the footy. Held tight, dancing into the line, and then Ova'a manhandles him. Brown involved in the tackle as well.
Oh, I wonder if that was the right option just there. He had numbers on the outside.
Vogel to Polamalu, who puts the head down, runs hard, pops the offload, and it's dropped right at the death by Mark Sifa.
Just can't help think, just a little bit of patience required there. They've been down here and, with a number of opportunities and getting 1 or 2 tackles in and ball going astray. And the scrum getting set to be packed.
Yeah, Troy, I just think Bay Roskill's going through Te Atatu's middle too easy at the moment. So, I'm looking at the stat sheet here. They've gone pretty much end-to-end with the ball, which is alarming stats there for the Te Atatu side. They must contain that middle, especially if they want to try and win this game. Yeah, so that's all right, Troy.
Yeah, big number 20 just put a shoulder on somebody, and I'm pretty sure that will upset you Saturday morning before lunch, wouldn't it?
Well, you'd suffered a medical event for a second there. I was very worried. So Roosters now work the ball forward. 5 minutes to play in the first half, and as TJ has alluded to, it has been to some degree fairly end-to-end stuff, and charging through the middle now is Craig Ingatia, another who played topside last year. Walking it down the left-hand side. Finishes in the hands of Sadabi. Williams. Pessamino, a high one. Launches it to the heavens. It's allowed to bounce, and that's dangerous. Ball comes loose, and luckily for Bay Roskill, they're on hand to scoop it up, but they do so about 12 metres off their own goal line. And look at the Te Atatu line up quickly now. Trady Williams, fairly unsuccessfully attempts to go low.
Some of the Viking boys still coming back to get on side. Just strolling into position. They'll be looking for runners here.
Williams down low. Vogel. Machu kicks. Long and down towards the corner. Looks a good kick off the boot. Pessamino first forced to turn and bring it back. And then there's a wall of black jerseys, although the line is a little staggered. And as a result, he gets out to about 12 metres off his line. And now a one-on-one strip.
Well, they've pinged him a penalty.
So a strip and then a penalty. So all going Bay Roskill's way right now. Isn't it funny? We see this really spring to life in the NRL this year. Everyone's doing it. It's the new hottest craze, and then slowly it filters through down into the Auckland club competitions. We saw it last night as well. Aidan Ackland scored a wonderful try off one. Now as the Vikings march forward, and another penalty.
So a little bit of patience required here. We need 3 minutes to go. We just heard come through from our official time clock. Really want to complete the set here, don't we?
Vogel. Strong carry down the right once again from Sione Vakau Takakala. Try scorer earlier. Wants a quick play of the ball, then goes to the other Vogel, who goes, ducks down low. It is denied by a good last tackle from Barron.
Bobbled.
And
It's out
they've
again.
turned the football over. Yet another error and good ball for the Bay Roskill Vikings, and this now is becoming a concerning trend for them, TJ, and a lot of ball down here, but so many errors.
Yeah, it's unfortunate they're not capitalising on all their opportunities at the moment, man. So it's important that they complete some sets, build a little bit of pressure on this Te Atatu defensive line, because at the moment they're squandering opportunities, and they've had an opportunity the last couple of sets now to put some points on the board. So disappointing at this stage.
And you do have to wonder just how frustrating this is, just given the weight of possession they have had down here. They haven't come away with the result. Well, they did score a try probably 10 minutes or so ago, but other than that, it's been a long wait.
Yeah, they've actually had more sets with the ball than Te Atatu has in this half at the moment. So at this stage, they're only completing at about 56%. So
Wow.
errors are obviously being costly for their game. Te Atatu on the other end, errors have probably plagued their back end of this first half. They've only dropped 4 sets at this stage, but still alarming stats here for Te Atatu, getting rolled through the middle, and again not giving away a couple back-to-back penalties now as well.
So Williams
That
with a
looks
flat ball at the line,
Yeah.
more than flat in fact.
Shaping up.
Words
This is where
exchanged.
patience needs to play,
One thing that's probably not the best idea is to pick on a Vogel in this Bay Roskill team. There's about 17 of them floating around the two squads, and that time
There's a whole loaf of them.
it was Tim Vogel who got pushed, and Cody Vogel came in and said, no, you don't. So it all simmers down anyway, and we'll get back to it. And they'll want to get things moving here. As far as I'm aware, there's no time off at this stage. And the Vikings have a golden opportunity here, but the clock is ticking. So there will be a little bit longer left in the half than on our clock, my understanding, from the last call we got. So we'll get the scrum fed. Vogel with the feed. They go out towards the left side. Machu to Fale, and Selwyn pops an offload, and now Tautai onto the back of it, but the wall of blue arrives to wrestle him to ground. Coming in late that time was Poatu. They jump out now via the wing. This is Dylan McCarty. 9 metres short of the line now, the Bay Roskill Vikings. Tautai, the dummy half, goes to Machu. Machu, double pump, comes back infield now, links with his lock forward, and just again strong through the middle, a centralising carry, perhaps to set up for something on this one. Vogel looking to his left. That's the way he will go via a dart, but the Te Atatu line is up quickly and set upon him. The other Vogel now, Cody. Jumps out. Machu and Williams on a short ball at the line, then pops an offload. Bay Roskill somehow still short. How did they not score that time? Vogel now looks to his left. I think that's the siren going in the background. Fale pops a big offload. Looking to keep the ball alive here, the Vikings, but Te Atatu wrestle him and take him towards the sideline, and that's going to get us to halftime, is it?
The hooter was sort of like a distant foghorn in the background.
So I thought
The referee's been told.
There we go. So that will get us to half-time. Very short break for us before we resume with the second half action. Go and get yourself a coffee or a tea or something cooler as the weather starts to warm up, and we'll be back in just a few minutes' time.
Welcome back, ladies and gentlemen, to Mount Smart number 2 as we get ready for the second half. And alongside us today is TJ. And TJ, just touching on some of the stats, you mentioned that when Bay Roskill were on the roll, they were certainly putting the middles to test, the defensive line. But have to say, really got to commend them on the actual try line. Their defensive scramble was just outstanding.
Yeah, fully agree with you, Troy. So that Johnson guy, the number 11 for Atatu, I saw him putting his body on the line there a few times to save a few tries. So good signs still for Atatu on their defensive try line.
Yep.
If they can tidy up their defence in the middle, then they should come away with the win today. But still, Bay Roskill still looking pretty good at the moment. They just got to put a few sets back to back and build a bit of pressure with a couple completed sets, and they'll get themselves back on track.
As the head coach of the magnificent Ellerslie Eagles, what would have been your chat to the Bay Roskill guys at halftime?
I would have been very positive, man, to be only down by 4 points at half-time with, only completing at about 50-odd%. I would have been a bit positive. So I would have basically said, look, if we can complete a few sets here, play it down the right end of the field, I think we'll come away with the win. And they've got the side to do it. Putter is a very good half that Bay Roskill's got. He's played some very high level of footy. So if he can, get a couple back-to-back sets, I have no doubt that Bay Roskill can come back and win this.
Just having a look at your stat sheet there, the incompletion of sets too were like 1 or 2 tackles. They weren't like they were 4, 5 deep. So I think, the couple of extra moments on the ball will certainly help them. But, Atatu Roosters on the line, their defence outstanding. Yes, Corey joins us back in the commentary box.
Kotai brings it in, brings it back. Just tuning in. Second half just underway. Atatu sitting on a 4-point lead after what really was an ebbing and flowing first half. There's a strong carry which will result in a penalty. In fact, the other way, it's going to go to the Roosters, is it? Just looking at the way the hand's moving there. No, it's a little
probably telling them
using the call.
Side, yeah. Maybe just rushed out of the D a wee bit quick. Good to see all the supporters down here today. Mount Smart number 2. Good strong following for both teams here. Oh, just about got folded.
Having visited both these clubs throughout the season, they are certainly very well supported. Both great grounds to go to. Bay Roskill got a lovely setup these days with the hill there and the crowd, and very well run club. And as for Atatu, well, the Dennis Williams Terrace, brilliant. Go down there, meet a few legends of the game. Vogel jumps out, and it's a short ball, which is going to test the line here, but the Roosters arrive and just bring him down. Quick play the ball now. Vogel darts from dummy half, and Vogel will catch them napping.
Yeah, he's been looking dangerous from the dummy half, and he certainly burgled that one. Atatu trying to have a chat to the man in the middle. He's not going to wear it. Crown lift trucks action replay here. We can see the quick play the ball. He's shaping to go left. No, sucked in. There we are. 4 points. Those who wait for the kick to come. Certainly up tempo from that start, Corey.
Yeah, we'll throw to TJ in just a second once the kick has been taken, who can talk us through some of the technical aspects there. But one thing I will touch on is it's all very well having this great forward pack, but I'm impressed with what Timothy Vogel does around dummy half. He just sort of steers everyone around nicely, and that time just a heads-up play to go over for the try, which draws the Vikings level. Kick to come, and there haven't been too many easy kicks today. As you can see in the background there, our luxurious commentary box. It's a nice change from the usual mud we're standing in on Saturdays at fields around Auckland.
know what
Short-lived,
luxurious
however.
commentary box he's talking about, TJ, but somebody let me out of the car boot.
Strikes it. It's pushed away to the right, and it will remain Te Atatu Roosters 12, Bay Roskill Vikings 12. And TJ, as Troy touched on just a few moments ago, a more up-tempo set that time. They find a reward on the back of it.
Yeah, like Troy said, man, playing up tempo just allows you to catch the defensive line off guard a little bit there. And he said that Vogel boy at dummy half, he made the right decision at the right time. So Bay Roskill capitalising on the back end of a penalty. Hopefully they complete this set.
Well, that will count as the commentator's curse if they do not, TJ. You can't go mentioning completing sets and then expect to dodge that one as we get back underway, and TJ holds his breath. Ball bounces up, and now off the back fence. Talk about hold your breath. Get out of the way. Strong carry off the back fence from Toilalo. Williams. And already they're 30 metres off their line here, the Bay Roskill Vikings. So dominant through the middle of the park. That's not to take anything away from Te Atatu, who are fighting well, and their two starting props have been excellent, but they're just given away too many kgs, unfortunately, and that does tell, but they're right in the battle right now. Here's Vakau Takakala, takes them to 30 metres out from the line. Achu will look to the sky. Pressure on, the chase is good, but Pessameno cool as anything, and then flicks the ball back in. Oh dear, that was almost a disaster. They dodged the bullet. I'm not sure whose ball this will be. There was a couple of things that could probably be called in back play there. We'll just wait to see what the official call is, and I think this may be a Bay Roskill ball. Roosters ball.
It comes through from our referee technical advisor in the background. He's obviously sitting up here, shirking his responsibilities.
Yeah, Corey, that was a fantastic set from Bay Roskill after scoring points. So they'll be their coach will be happy with that set there. They just need to defend have a good defensive set here and give away no penalties. Let's see how this set goes.
So the Roosters get back to work.
Oh, right in the head. Was that a Falcon? Hit him in the head. He's dropped it. Play on. Roosters on the scramble again.
Polamalu. Machu is the first receiver. And another penalty. And we'll have time off and a talking to here.
Interesting to see what the penalty count is, and we get a chance next time you throw over to TJ Corey. My count, I think it's about 5-3. Bay Roskill.
Here I was thinking your stat days were over, Troy. Back to it we go via the Vikings.
No, it's just on hold.
Vogel looks centre field. Goes way out the back to Machu. Comes back through the middle of the park. And brilliant tackle down low to deny the rampaging Toilalo. It's Vogel to Machu. Tautai chimes in on the back line. Stepping. The other two get there. He's taken down 3 short of the line. A golden opportunity for the Vikings to take the lead here. Fale will be the dummy half. Shifts play back towards the middle. Machu with a little bit of footwork, and Machu goes over! Just like that in the end. Found a little chink in the armour, a little gap in the line, and it's all he needed. The little swerve of the hips crashes over, and the Bay Roskill Vikings have a 4-point lead. Kick to come.
Crown Lift Truck action replay here. You can see the big prop forward from the Roosters just shot out from the line, left a hole in behind him, missed the defender completely, split it. And as Corey said, found that hole. There he turned him inside out and basically went through there, 4 points straight underneath the posts. As we wait for the kick to come. The Steeden getting lined up between the two SAS bolsters here. Strikes that beautifully. Flags are up, 2 points.
So the Vikings lead 18 points to 12, and TJ, who knew, complete some sets and find some points. It's a simple game, really, when you play it that way.
Yeah, exactly right, man. So I think, Putter, the number 6 for Bay Roskill's done a really good job taking control of his team there, especially down in Goodball. They just, again, complete the set here and continue building pressure. That'll be the way to continue with this game. So they've improved from 56% at half-time. They've already gone up to 68% now. So if they continue doing that, they'll go a long way to winning this game. The other two just have to regroup quickly. They've made a couple back-to-back errors at the moment. At one stage there, 20 minutes into the game, they were completing at 90%. They're now down to 66% over the game stats. So they just need to calm it down a little bit, defend it set by set, and complete set by set as well, man, to get back into this game.
So the Vikings back into it. That was Papali'i, and here's Toilalo. Vogel jumps out, goes to his left. Strong contact. Now that was a knock on, and it's been picked up by the match officials as well. He tried to offload. There ended up being bodies in the way, and a dropped ball there, and that's a big relief for the Atatu Roosters. And you can just see the body language, really. You can almost just see the relief on their faces, because the Vikings were rolling for a second there. And now a chance for the Roosters to hit back, and it's really been one-way traffic so far in this second spell. See what the Roosters can put together now. This set will start 5 metres inside attacking territory.
A big shout out to Crown Lift Trucks, major sponsor, and also a sponsor of the Auckland Referees Association. So thank you for your support.
Of course, you can read all of our Auckland Rugby League referees match official week content on the website right now as well. A wonderful article with Anthony Elliott where we go through a typical week for him. Just incredible the amount of training he gets through, as well as running his own company, which I think he's got about 40 employees and 3 kids as well. So he's a busy man, as Anthony Elliott. Did a wonderful job last night in the SAS Fox Memorial Premiership Grand Final as well. Here's Sutterby. This is a big set for the Roosters. They don't need to score, but they need to find a positive here, and at the very least finish it 10 metres off the line or force a repeat. Here is Kopua, and Kopua, well, out of the line like a rocket was Shane Williams. Kopua missed the brunt of it. Williams to Brown. Brown holds up and then plays in Pessamino. Pessamino shuffles on to Ova'a. Ova'a shakes out. Ova'a still going. Pulled down just short of the line. Quick play of the ball. Roskill doing really well, camped up against their line, but they'll get a penalty here, the Atatu Roosters. And chance to build some more pressure. I tell you, every time Ova'a touches that ball out on that left edge, he looks dangerous. He's got a wonderful build for a centre. Atatu goes low. Kopua! Net head on. Urquhart is set to the right. He will be the first receiver. Double pump and then turns back to the inside where he finds his centre. That's Watts Ikatuli. Williams now with options either side. Comes back towards the middle, and it just looks a little unstructured right now. Atatu perhaps just finding their marks on this set and going to put something together here in the closing exchanges, the closing couple of plays. Johnson, who's tackled well down low. They're 5 out from the line. Quick play of the ball. Left they come. Brown to Ova'a. Ova'a holds it up and taken into touch. Really nice work from the Bay Roskill edge defence, who had to defend back-to-back sets, and while defending Troy, not something they've had to do a whole lot of in the second spell.
Well, they've certainly rolled their sleeves up down there in this part. Waiting for Bay Roskill to restart now, so everyone gets the opportunity to have a wee bit of a reset here. And the Vikings will just start rolling down the centre of the park. They're certainly not shy on options on handing it to some big units. Let's just pick another one, and well, they don't come much bigger than this boy, and what a bumping run it is. Up to the 40, and he's bobbled it. Oh, no, referee's going, that's a strip. And just starting to get a wee bit of rhythm happening there. Vikings now look to kick the touch. Here come the Vikings now, getting a roll on.
Papali'i. Sevi. Another of the family connections at this club which go deep through the grades. Bakau Takakala takes them to within 5 of the line. Vogel to Machu, short to Williams. Williams pops the ball out the back, but there's a penalty in there, and I think that may have been for an obstruction in the lead-up. Forward pass the call, my apologies.
Just trying to force it there. Looks like a...
Pisamino gets on to a quick play the ball.
Strong up the body strength, just shrugged him away. Still trying to drive forward, look for the quick play the ball there. Oh, he met some resistance in that tackle.
Ball comes loose as well. They've forced the error, and Vogel knows how big that play is.
All the Vikings pack, they look like they fired up. They enjoyed that one. Fair to say it'll be a big day down at the Atatu Roosters club rooms. And to understand they're opening up around 5 o'clock this afternoon.
So scrum packs down, 30 off the line, and a great chance here for the Roskill Vikings to strike what probably wouldn't be a killer blow in terms of the match itself, but it would certainly be a significant one as Machu goes to his left and links with Williams, who's been a strong contributor so far, and looked again to get that offload away. Machu is the dummy half. Sevi
Got it away.
pops it out the back. Machu, the man to collect it, but he's told to go back and play that one again. Set heavy to the middle now. Machu spins the ball out of dummy half. This is Vogel directing traffic. Working down the right-hand side now. Palamo. Taken down just inside the right-hand touchline. Vogel. Vogel still going. Oh, Vogel, I think he's found a try here. Knock on is the call. Oh, he went very close there, Vogel, and is expressing as much to the referee. Let's take a look here. This will give us a good look. Looked like he'd been tackled initially and then somehow just broke out of it. And no, great call from the match official. Short. He wanted the strip, but it was borderline. It's tough to call that one there. The onus has to be on the ball carrier as he goes towards the line.
Great little run here from the Atatu Roosters up to the 20. He's played some good, strong minutes, this young fella.
He's had a good game, Kobe Kopua. Do get the feeling they'll need something special from a player like him or Craig Ngatia, Johnson perhaps, to spark them back into life here as they jump out of dummy half via Williams. Brown will kick. Toltai back to collect, but the chase is very good from the Roosters. As a result, they're onto him straight away.
Vikings just really jumping out one off at the moment for another runner. Now looking to shift. Right, another settle straight into the middles and big contact still going. Yeah, that one, he's felt something. Oh, the vertical sidestep, here we go.
Vogel stepping, looping ball over the top, which is then tipped on. Fully ends up with it. Hot potato stuff here from the Vikings as McCarty heads back infield, then hands off. This is Machu. There's got to be a gap somewhere as they go side to side, coast to coast, and there is a gap. Oh, he slipped at the worst possible time. Oh, a try saver from the grass here at Mount Smart number 2.
Is that full count on the tackle? No.
We're going to have time off here. There's a player down in back play, which is not a good look for Atatu. Looks in a fair bit of discomfort here. But I tell you what, Onisai Polomalu, he was in for a try then and just slipped at the death, and the trainer is calling.
No, that's not happening. He's coming off.
Straight to the sideline, so maybe set for a fairly long stoppage here, but you do just get the feeling a try there perhaps wraps it up for the Bay Roskill Vikings, but the turf lets them down. Machu going over to just check on the injured player there. In the meantime, perhaps look ahead to some of the stuff we've got coming up, and lucky to have TJ here from the Coaching and Development Department. And TJ, I guess the big ones on your calendar for the next couple of weeks. We've got the Vulcans going to the national tournament and also the Region of Origin series.
Yeah, both shaping up to be great events for Auckland Rugby League. Region of Origin kicking off in a couple of weeks. First games on the 14th of September. So that's the battle between the south and the north of Auckland. So those are always great contests to have in regards to representing where you're from, etc. So I'm looking forward to that battle.
And great to see some of the Waikato girls teams represented there as well. Hukanui assigned to the south and Taniwharau to the north. Of course, Taniwharau, the first ever non-Auckland champion of an Auckland Rugby League competition. Taking out the girls 18s comp. What a brilliant team that was as well, and it's really great to see our cousins to the south doing well in that space right now, and great to have them involved, both Taniwharau and Hukanui. It's going to be really exciting to see the girls' grades built into the Region of Origin this year, as the Roosters now look to get out of their own end, but they're struggling right now and will kick from deep. This is Pessamino, who finds grass between winger and fullback before Toltai cleans it up and brings the football back. But if this is a game of chess, you do get the feeling that the Roosters are certainly losing it right now in terms of the field positioning, and this will help now. A penalty for the Vikings. Machu to Williams. Vale. Machu had to reach high for that one. The Vikings are not far away now. 17 and a half to play. Machu will go for the drop goal. The early one-pointer for the Vikings takes it out to a 2-score lead a heads-up play that time. It was probably a great time to take it. No one was certainly aware of it, and smack bam in front of the post takes his team out to a 7-point lead.
Yeah, nice execution there. And, they get the ball back, so 17 odd minutes to go on the clock. The snuffle a point, not a bad idea.
And TJ, they had been down there for a fair while there, hadn't managed to come away with the try. So do you like going for the 1 point there, despite there being 17 still to play?
Yeah, in a big game of a grand final, obviously it takes it out plus, past the 1 try lead. But the way to position to Bay Roskill at the moment is working wonders. So Te Atatu just looked very tired around the middle. That was very close to being offside from the kickoff there as well. But yeah, they got to turn the tides here somewhere. Someone's got to pull something out and just get a bit of spark and something out of the defensive pack for Te Atatu. They're just looking very tired at the moment, so it'll be quite tough for them to come back at this stage.
Yeah, just can't help think, they did a lot of defensive work in the first half down inside there on their line, and they put in, immense of, there we go, another big tackle going to be required as the big forwards start getting a roll on.
So goes Vogel to Vogel. Machu looks to the heavens. Fale bearing down. Pessamino allows it to bounce. This could go anywhere. Goes dead. Now, did he touch it, Pessamino? Yes, he did. Dropout coming.
So official time clock, 15 minutes, 30 seconds to go. Vikings gather in the line dropout and start attacking on the right edge. A little bit of shape here. Oh, they play the ball a little bit sloppy. Yeah, and the referee doesn't like it. And really, that's just crazy stuff. 1, 2 tackles in. Just alleviate a little bit of pressure.
Just while we got this little break in commentary, I just want to do a little shout out to the Te Atatu ball boys down there, Jack and Liam. They're both from the Te Atatu Roosters club, and they're involved in our holiday blast programs from the Auckland Rugby League. And Te Atatu are hosting their next holiday blast, I believe, in October in the school holiday period. So if you're living out west and you got nothing to do, kids, tell your parents and get down to the Te Atatu holiday blast. There's lots of fun activities, not just all rugby league games, but there's heaps of fun and exciting opportunities for you to enjoy over your mid-year break through your school terms.
Yeah, and great to see the Roosters taking ownership of that one as well. The first of the clubs to run their own. It's a great little revenue gatherer for clubs as well, and of course, most importantly, offers a great service to the community, which is what we're all about. As Machu now looks to his left, brings in Selwyn Fale. He's come looking for work today, Selwyn, and been very strong in his carries. Machu jumps out of dummy half, catches them napping just for a second. I thought he was going to go through. Quick play the ball, though, and now they're rolling down the right corridor. A try here, you would think, finishes off any hope for the Te Atatu Roosters. Machu standing up. Thought about it, shakes out of the first contact, and then produces the big extravagant flick out the back. It is in the hands of Sifa. Hot potato stuff right now. Sifa kicks for himself, regathered and then dropped it and booted it dead. So the Roosters will come back out to the 20 and have another go here. Still time on the clock if they're good enough, the Te Atatu Roosters, but they just haven't shown any signs in the second half that they're able to find anything dynamic in attack, which is a real worrying sign for them. And as TJ has alluded to a couple of times, they look tired. Pessamino. Urquhart, dummies, through, Urquhart, support looming, Urquhart rounds the fullback, this is a wonderful try from Max Urquhart! Drags the Roosters back into this one. It should be a 1-point ball game with kick to come. He's threatened that run a couple of times today, and then just a little bit of footwork and a dummy in there, and he burst straight through.
Crown Lift Trucks action replay here. You can see him just offloading, faked it, vertical side step, there he goes, bang to the right, and basically put the power jets on here and was all the way through. Look how happy he is on this 4-pointer. He knows he's brought the team back in, bang.
So 3-point ball game with a kick to come. We should be down to a 1-point margin, and TJ in a game that's been dominated by the Giants, it's one of the smallest men on the park who comes up with the dynamic play.
Yeah, that could be the spark that Atatu needs to get themselves back into this game. So you should see here a little bit of a lift from the Atatu boys, and let's see if they can bring this home. It should be an exciting final 10 minutes to our reserve grade grand final.
So we've got a Bay Roskill player down on halfway, and he's getting some attention to the left leg right now. So it's out of the way of the kick, so the kick will be taken anyway, although perhaps the referee has just halted things here. Well, time back on. So Pessamino will now attempt the conversion. So play was halted for a moment there, but of course the player's not going to affect with this conversion. It will impact the ensuing restart, although it does look like he's getting back up to the feet. So we wait for the kick, and what a big kick this is, because it does open up the opportunity for them to hit back with a field goal if they can't find a try and maybe force extra time. As we saw last night in the SAS Fox Memorial Premiership Grand Final, 9 minutes in, and it's Jesse Albrett who comes up with the telling play in a game that really will go down in folklore as just a wonderful Grand Final, Troy.
It was brilliant. It was absolutely brilliant. You know, had a lot to, even in the first 80 minutes where it came down to that last penalty just on time. And Eden Ackland, you know, kicking for the match. And just fell short a wee bit, and then going into the extra time. At one point there looked like we were going to go extra time, and he's listened to the commentary curse. Corey's given him the kiss of death, and that's gone away to the right hand up, so, upright. So 10 minutes to go. 4's 20, try. Got 10 minutes now on the count.
Dear oh dear, you got to land that one with the game on the line.
I was only just talking about the Eden Ackland shot there on full time. Anyway, here we go. Vikings back into it.
Unfair to put Ackland in the same category. His one was from 40 metres out. That one
and that's playing
slightly easier attempt. But anyway, back into it we go. This is Jason Dovey.
It was a fantastic game though, Corey. It was an awesome match of football. It was probably a hell of a lot better than the one that played just after it, just quietly.
You and your anti-Warriors agenda this morning, you're concerning me.
Well, it was hard to come back after that. I mean, that match had everything.
Yeah, I know what you mean. It certainly was a brilliant game, and we've been lucky to call some thrillers this year, and that one will sit right at the top of the list.
Big shout out to the Howick Hornets boys. I dare say they're probably having green tea and scrambled eggs and bacon over there at the clubhouse now after an early night in bed.
Penalty here. Incorrect play the ball, and this is going to go against the Roosters.
Corey, that probably wasn't the set that they needed after scoring points there. So that kick might have deflated the Atatu Roosters there a little bit, and if Bay Roskill can get on the board here, they could go a long way to winning their second grand final in consecutive years, I believe.
So back into it they go. Papali'i finishes in the middle of the field by the death of it. Vogel is the dummy half. He looks to his right, finds his lock forward. This is Vakau Takakala, who's just about been the best on field today for Bay Roskill for me. He's been excellent in the middle. Vogel shifts right. Here they come, the Vikings. They know a try here probably wins the grand final. Polamalu belted. Little dart out of dummy half from Vogel. There's an appeal, but this is going to be a penalty to the Roosters. So it's the gift that keeps on giving. The ebb and the flow. So as we wait for the Roosters to get back underway, TJ, the challenge in front of them to reverse this 3-point gap, they're going to need a try. From a coaching point of view, what are you looking at in terms of a set here?
A little bit of energy from Atatu, so they need to get on the front foot, play over the advantage line. That hit up there obviously is probably going to put them in the good stead, but they just need to back that up. Bay Roskill, they needed a half to take control of the game there. They needed someone to match manage it, especially at the death. I just didn't think their halves touched the ball enough. Bay Roskill, to me, they looked like they were chasing easy points, and in a grand final, points just don't come easy. So they needed some direction there, and I don't think their halves provided it. I'm looking forward to, is it Max Urquhart, number 6, Atatu? I'm looking for him to get his hands on the ball here. He's the spark that Atatu Roosters are needing here right now.
And on cue, look who's just hovering around the picture, just in case there's a little offload. And now goes to Urquhart. Urquhart comes back through the middle of the park. They're only 32 out from the line now, the Roosters. If they can get to a good kick here and set up camp, they're right back in this one. Brown shaking out a 1, pops a big offload out the back. It goes to Ova'a. It's now loose. No call of 6 again. Yes, there is. 6 more. Here come the Roosters. A wave of blue heads down towards the number 1 end here at Mount Smart Stadium, number 2. They're 9 short of the line now. Brown is the dummy half, and he's got big men lining up for days. Everyone wants a crack now for the Roosters. 5.5 to play. They trail by 3. This is Ingatia burrowing low. Ingatia, he's gone there, but it's held up, I think. Well, hang on.
Wait for the call.
Referee points to the spot. We've got a try under the sticks from Craig Ingatia. Initially, it looked like he was held up to me. We're going to get a good look at it on the replay here, but Ingatia under the post, and the Roosters are back in front.
So on the action replay here, Crown Lift Trucks, we've got it from the inside goal area. Here we go, ladies and gentlemen, up close. That's on the line. Referee's there. Corey's nodding in agreement. Crown Lift Trucks, well, there's a wee bit of a chat going on. Call's been made as his eyes look to the heavens, and we wait for the kick to come.
I mean, it's a really difficult call. There's bodies around there, and you're talking about a blade of grass, but you can understand the Bay Roskill Vikings' frustration.
Can we have another quick look at the replay by any chance? Just before the kick comes, and I don't know if we can slow it down any more than that, but that's on the line for my money. And Corey nods his head in agreement.
Well, we're talking in different currencies then, because to me that is held up. But look, this isn't about criticising the match officials. That's a damn hard call to make. But you do feel some sympathy for Bay Roskill. But look, the game's far from over. 5 to play. The Atatu Roosters will kick from in front. I'll say nothing about his chances of converting this after the last one.
Then he'll get it.
Yeah, Corey, Bay Roskill looking at making a couple changes here as well. I think they need to get their number 20 back on. He brings a lot of spark for this Bay Roskill forward pack, so yeah, you can see him taking the field there, see if we can get a couple sets with the ball and see what they can do with it.
So a grandstand finish.
Some of the big boppers coming back on for the Vikings now. They're going to start to lift.
Be interesting to see what they do with the kickoff here. Do you go short or do you go long? From mine, you probably go long, try and get a good defensive set in, and then trust your forward pack to get you back into this. And that is exactly what they'll do. A driven kick down along the ground, which bounces up kindly in the end. And now the Roosters bring it back, having looked all but gone just a few minutes ago.
They really need to complete, and they don't. And that's a knock on. And just maybe that might have been a little Troy commentary curse there. Just need to complete, and they don't.
Yeah, we're having a mare today, aren't we? I think we've all had at least one. And that one there, Troy, well, you might just end up costing Te Atatu a title here with that one. So you take the cake so far. Still 3.5 to play. And the Vikings, you could just see straight away, they know now that it's on. And as TJ alluded to, they can't afford to try and take the easy way out on the set, though. They can't just rely on those big men. Machu needs to get involved, and the Vogels around the ruck as well. So scrum packs down. They head straight out to the left edge. Vakau Takakala is charged with the first carry in front of the SAS uprights, and they've got playmakers set left and right. They shuffle to the right to the big man, and this is Toilalo. Commands the attention of 3 Te Atatu defenders. Vogel from dummy half goes to the right. There's numbers here, and the Roskill Vikings will score on the right. They're back in front, and that might just be the grand final right there. Went to the space, found the try. They're back in front by 1, 2.5 minutes to play.
Crown Lift Trucks action replay here. We see the ball coming out from the dummy half area. 2 Roosters too fast off the line. Created a wee bit of space out there, and they had too many numbers. Try time. Vikings in 4 points. Here we go again, just going through the action replay. You can see that defender just shot up out of the line, 2 out wide, 4 points in, and they had enough strike power and enough time and opportunity to get the job done.
Nicely summed up the final pass from Fine Vakau Takakala, who I said before I thought had been the best player on the park due to his work and yardage, and that time summed it up nicely. And the Vikings go ahead by 1, kick to come, and they'll be in no rush here.
Great shot there, brought to you by the Stream Shot. And as Corey rightly said, you know, they'll check the wind direction, throw a bit of grass around, yep, turn the tee, take your time. 2 minutes on the official clock.
No time off call yet, but there will be if it takes too much longer. He may just get cramp on the run up here too. I know I would.
Oh, the kicking ball guides have rolled that off.
That is too good. Time off, so the clock pauses, and he can waste all the time he wants now. See in the background there, the Vikings supporters.
Yep.
That man on screen, Finau Toilalo, he has been excellent in the middle of the park. Strikes it,
right.
And it is away to the right, so it remains the Roskill Vikings 23, Te Atatu Roosters 22, and TJ, what a game it has been. It's ebbed and flowed, and we couldn't really have hoped for a better final 10 minutes.
No, definitely, man. I thought that try there was set up by their big number 20, having a big guy attacking the line like that. Drags in a few defenders. Oh, big error here, Corey, offside off the kickoff.
Oh.
That could be the game here. Roskill looks like they've won their second grand final.
So a penalty on halfway.
And the little ball boy looked heartbroken. 60 seconds.
1 minute to play. And it would take a disaster now from Roskill to lose this one. Interesting kicking there. Difficult to put those ones into touch from the centre of the field, but puts it safely out. She's off about 8 metres, so a tap and a go. This is Selwyn Fale, another of the men who have Played extensively for the top side over the last few years. And as the clock ticks down, charging through the middle, you're kidding. Oh, dear me. Te Atatu need to get the scrum packed. Don't worry about applauding your work. Siren goes. Game over. Bay Roskill are your 2019 Crown Lift Trucks Fox Championship Premier First champions. What a game. It had it all. It was a bit of a roller coaster, but in the end, the Bay Roskill Vikings, they come up with the big plays and the big minutes, helped along by the wonderful forward pack, led by that man on screen, Finau Toilalo. And TJ, fair to say they are deserving winners today, but what an exceptional match.
Yeah, I think having that week off last week for Te Atatu's probably hasn't helped them there with their fitness levels, man. So credit to Bay Roskill. They played an 80-minute game and they ended up scoring right on the full hooter there. So congratulations to both teams. They've had a fantastic season this year. Both of them can proudly hold their heads high in regards to their seasons.
So only 1 point separated the teams today in the 2019 Grand Final for these two teams. And as you see on screen there, Bay Roskill Vikings winners today as we get ready for the Fox Memorial Premiership 1 Championship Grand Final presentations on field. ARL directors will be heading down to the halfway mark along with MC Gina. Tupo.
Troy, that decision to go for the 20 minutes to go obviously was the right decision for the Bay Roskill side.
Drop goal. Yep, I've got you. Okay, eyebrows are up. Yes. Yep. The gods of Valhalla will be very happy for the Vikings as they're heading over now to shake hands with the Te Atatu Roosters. And big shout out to the Roosters boys. Just getting ready now. Boys from Te Atatu hold their heads high. And TJ, a lot of camaraderie, mateship in regards to these two teams.
Yeah, both of these sides have been good performers for the reserve grade section for the Auckland Rugby League. A credit to Te Atatu as well, man. This side here was nowhere near the finals last year, so Keith Hanley, Phil Gordon, and also Kevin Charlie have done a wonderful job to bring both sides into the grand final this year. So, look, unfortunately there has to be a winner in a grand final, and it didn't go their way today. And
hey, look, mate, to be fair, some teams don't make it to the grand final.
Yeah, very true, Troy. Hopefully that's not a dig at my side there, mate. Yeah, it's a running joke for Troy in the office, so thank you very much for reminding me every day of my life, Troy.
Oh, don't be like that. It's only a half-pounder combo amongst friends.
I believe I won that battle for the last this year, I think, Troy.
Look, to be fair, TJ, it was double or nothing. What you won was nothing. So not long to go, ladies and gentlemen, for the next match coming up here today at Mount Smart number 2. We'll be getting ready and prepared as the teams are warming up now out the back for the SAS Fox Memorial Premiership Premier 1 Grand Final. The Point Chevalier Pirates up against the Marist Saints. But before that, there will be the official presentations for these two teams who have made the grand final down here. Crown Lift Trucks, major sponsor of today's action, and a big thank you to them as we get ready for the presentation way over on the far side there, and we can see the stream shop cameras are picking them up now, and on screen over there some of our ARL officials, and it looks like young Brian is in the centre today. They are. Brian Mills cutting a dashing figure there today. He's on the ARL board as they get ready for presentations. And don't forget, ladies and gentlemen, all of our live stream matches will be found on the ARL TV YouTube channel. And on behalf of myself and Corey, it's been a fantastic year, and we hope you've enjoyed the coverage that we've provided to you from the Auckland Rugby League TV channel. Here's all the teams here saying thank you to the fans today.
Good afternoon, ladies and gentlemen. On behalf of the Auckland Rugby League, we thank you for coming out today to the first of our 3 grand finals. We'll now commence the presentation, and officiating this is Mr. Brian Mills from the Auckland Rugby League Director, and I'm going to hand it over to him to say a few words. Thank you.
Well, ladies and gentlemen, what is that a tremendous grand final, as a final should be. It was played in the right energy, enthusiasm, skill, had everything. But I think the thing I noticed more than anything else was it was played in a tremendous spirit. And I'd like to congratulate the players for such an effort. So I'd like to give all the players another good hand for great grand final.
Thank you, Brian. We'd like to do the presentation for our match officials. We have the referee, Brett Newton, touch judges, Zane Richardson and Garth Mitchell, match manager, Mike Ashworth. Thank you. I'd like to call upon the captain for the runner-up team to come forward to say a few words, please.
First of all, thanks to everybody that's come out today. Hey, what I gave me, that's what I need to know. Hey, congratulations on the win. So our boys, hey, heads up, hey, there's always next year. And so everyone that's working listening, thank you very much.
Thank you. Could you bring up the team, please, to receive your medallions? Thank you very much. Could I please ask the captain for Bay Roskill to come forward to say a few words?
Hey, just on behalf of our team, there's a lot of thank yous that really us and the team want to make. First, it goes to the management crew, James, Jackson and Sam Pulley. Their hard work on a Thursday night. We're just going to be any more grateful to have them. Second, just a Atatu, Alan, your team, what a wonderful game it was. And just like these people over here just said, played in magnificent spirit. So Alan, just a big honour to you and your team. Atatu, Kev, Hate, you should be retiring by now, but that's all good. But lastly, this championship goes to our supporters, our partners, our wives, our mums, our dads, and everyone that supported us during this year. Just your support and your backing behind us. We couldn't be more any prouder, so we really want to thank you on behalf our Roskill reserves, and this is for you. Thank you.
Thank you. Can we ask the players and management to come forward to get your medallions? The final thing to do, the 2019 Fox Memorial Championship Premier First Bay Roskill Vikings.